Saving the planet, living happily ever after, making some money in the process. Why not? Okay, let's get started here. Ladies and gentlemen, before we do introductions and we step through an agenda, I want to dive right in and set the tone for this live event. If you're like me and you want to bring about an environmentally sustainable society, if you're like me and you want to bring about a society where everybody has a shot at becoming the person they need to be, and that's how I define social equity. Everybody getting a fair shot at becoming the person they need to be. If you're like me and you want to bring about that type of world, let's face it, things don't look good. As a matter of fact, they look really bad, and they're not trending positively. They're trending negatively. Things look like they're getting worse. And you know what I say? I say, I don't care. I have never been more excited in my entire life. We're at an inflection point in human history, and I can't wait to rise to the challenge and make the world that we want. And this isn't just a statement of hope for the sake of making a statement of hope. We could actually do this. I want you to picture something for me. I want you to picture 50 million people, 50 million of us, cutting the energy that we use to heat and cool our homes by 50%. 50 million people cutting their HVAC energy use by 50%. That's moving the needle. That's not sorting your recyclables, okay? That's a climate scientist looking at an Excel spreadsheet going, I wonder what's going on here. Now imagine those same 50 million people, 50 million of us, buying a whole lot less stuff and making sure that the stuff that we buy is completely sustainably sourced, and taking that portion of our carbon footprint and cutting it by another 50%. That's moving the needle. That's the same climate scientist looking at an Excel spreadsheet going, what in the world is going on right now? Imagine the same 50 million people, those 50 million of us, taking collective action so that we rewild 30 million acres of suburbs. We take 30 million acres of suburbs and turn it into a carbon sink. That's moving the needle. Now imagine those same 50 million people, through our collective action, bringing about a society where everybody has a fair shot at becoming the person they need to be. And you say to me, Todd, well, how are you going to get 50 million people to do this? How are you going to get 50 million people not only to do this, but to act in unison? And I say the way we're going to get 50 million people, 50 million of us, to act in unison is we're going to make it in our financial best interest to do so. And the way we make it in our financial best interest to do so is that we're going to own the brands that sell us the products and services that will allow us to accomplish our goals. And every time that we buy from one of these brands, the value of our equity goes up. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how we save the planet and live happily ever after. And what we're going to be talking about today is how we get from where we are right now to those 50 million, and beyond. So who's ready to do that? Who's with me on this one? No doom, no gloom. This is about articulating a vision of the future and a plan of action on how to achieve that vision.